Good evening, welcome to Trending at 10 p.m. with me, Vishnu Shom. The Mandsaur rape of an 8-year-old child is one of the most horrific attacks we've heard about since the Nirbhaya gang rape in Delhi, which shook the nation's conscience and prompted a change in legislation. Today, India has some of the toughest anti-rape legislation in the world, but sadly, rapes still happen. It's disgusting. But inasmuch as we will fight every day against the horror of rape, today we look at another crime, another horrific power play, the brazen attempt by fake news trolls to put a communal spin on the Mandsaur rape. In a little while from now, we will point out frame by frame how pictures were photoshopped, facts distorted, and lies made to spread through social media to imply that members of the Muslim community supported the release of Irfan, one of the men involved in the gruesome attack. Before we come to that, a quick look at some of the big stories on NDTV.com and those trending on Twitter. The police say the family of 11 who died in Delhi were delusional. They thought they wouldn't die of hanging because their late father would come and save them. Meet Chandrakant Samant, the train driver who managed to stop his train just 55 meters from the bridge collapse, saving lives in Mumbai and Andheri. He's been awarded 5 lakh rupees by the railways. And a quick look at some of the stories which have been trending on Twitter. The BJP has targeted the Congress with this hashtag, saying a former member of the Congress IT cell is accused of co-worker of sexual harassment, and FIR has now been registered. After today's heavy rainfall and problems with train access because of the Andheri bridge collapse, Mumbai University allows a retest for those who could not take their exams today. Well, I'd like to introduce my panelists first as we look at the latest bit of fake news, one that tries to put a communal spin on the Mandsaur rape. And we've relied extensively on what Alt News has had to report. And I'd like to welcome, first of all, Prateek Sinha, the co-founder of Alt News, because we're going to be going through that report of Alt News point by point, and credit for this report entirely that of Prateek and his team. Vineet Goenka, ex-co-convener of the BJP IT cell, thanks very much for being with us. Priyanka Chaturvedi of the Congress Party, someone who herself faces almost on a daily basis horrific attacks online, fake news attacks, attacks targeting her and her family. And Karnika Seth, the well-known cyber lawyer. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. Let's bring you first the first set of hate tweets which started emerging on a little known website, right? And what exactly did these say? I'm translating these tweets which started appearing on www.indiaflare.com. said, rape of non-Muslim girls valid according to the Quran, release Irfan Khan, right? This is what was apparently being said by some members of, by some people online. In fact, there were several such tweets which were encouraging messages like that. All right. Let's move on to the second bit. Now, what you will see over here are two images. One is fake and one is real. The fake picture, and I don't know if we can have that full screen, actually has a placard. And that placard, again, I'm translating. It says, won't tolerate attacks on daughters. Stop this brutality. I beg your pardon. This is the real image. This is what the real picture says on the right hand side. Won't tolerate attacks on daughters. Stop this brutality. And then there is a photoshopped image that you see. No, let's go back to that previous one. Let's go back to that previous one. The fake image on the left hand side that says Irfan ko riha karo. And in both of these images, there are members of the Muslim community who apparently were out in Mandsaur holding protests. The real image is where they called for justice. The fake image is where there is a photoshopped image on that placard which says Irfan ko riha karo. In fact, according to Alt News, there is a second placard which has also been tampered with. You can't really see that very carefully in this picture. It says hang the beast. That has been changed to riha karo. All right, that has been changed as well. Let's go to the next point. The next point which has been made is that the Congress party has been defending the rapist. Now that is what the website seems to suggest. That is what some of these tweets seem to suggest as well. But what is the truth about this? Let's bring the next one. In fact, Congress leaders such as Jyotiraditya Scindia have been protesting. Some leaders have demanded capital punishment for the rapists in this particular case. Now, who exactly has been doing this? What do we know about indiaflare.com? That is the website. Is it an old website? Is it a credible website? Well, the fact of the matter is that it is a new website, a website that's been there for just a few weeks, and then it was registered, in fact, less than a few weeks back on the 22nd of June 2018. So it's a new website, and as soon as they come online, they start spewing hate, they start targeting a particular community. What about the Twitter profile of India Flare? At India Flare is their Twitter profile. How many supporters do they actually have? They have, at the time when Alt News came out with this news, just 21 followers. 21 followers, and they went and they immediately started spreading hate. So this is what many people would say the most disturbing and most blatant attempt at trying to communalize the rape of a child. What sort of sick mind does this? Pratik, how far has this hatred spread online?
The article was shared 16,000 times, and then, you know, bits and the usual modus operandi is that once you write a fake news article, somebody creates basically a meme out of it, and they'll spread that meme. Somebody will take text out of it and spread it as text. So essentially, it goes, you know, other than the article, the text and images, they are circulated independently, and that is the way it usually works. And one point that you did not cover is that what they have done today on their Twitter profile, if you go to their Twitter profile today, they have actually reversed the thing. They have said that what we have said is true and the real image is fake. They have said that, and they have said that all news is spreading fake news.
Yeah, so they've tried to turn the tables on you.
Yes. I mean, so blatant and so shameless.
How exactly, and just for the benefit of our viewers, were you able to find out about this website, its history? Were you able, how did you go about the business of researching this website, the fact that it's just been there for a few days?
So we have access to various tools such as CrowdHandle. It's a Facebook tool which lets you monitor different Facebook pages, Twitter accounts for information. So we have a list of Facebook pages, both right-wing and non-right-wing, that we monitor. We monitor certain keywords. So that is how it came to our radar, that such a thing. And we also monitor trending issues. So for example, Mandsaur is a trending issue, we'll monitor that. In Karnataka elections, we are monitoring keywords which are related to Karnataka elections. So we keep monitoring trending issues, and that is how this came to our notice that such a thing is trending and it is getting more and more viral. And we always check how viral a story is. So at the time of writing, it was 16,000 shares, and which was viral enough for us to consider it as a serious story and fact check it.
Priyanka, how do you see this to be a blatant attempt at misreporting, distorting, lying and spreading fake news, targeting your party for one, but perhaps more importantly targeting an entire community?
Absolutely. I wouldn't call it blatant attempt. I would call it a deliberate attempt and a strategic part of the communication strategy that comes with the idea that they can spread this misinformation, they can launch a malicious campaign, and they can make people believe that a particular ideology is the right ideology to move forward. I just want to go back as to how this entire trolling began as far as I'm concerned. I had done an extensive press conference where from the party platform on this particular issue, where we had demanded severest punishment and the speediest dispensation of justice as far as this particular case was concerned. However, by that evening, a wrong quote was attributed to me along with my image, which said, "Mandsaur में एक बलात्कार ही तो हुआ है, मुस्लिमों का हक है, बलात्कार करना हमारी पार्टी इरफान के साथ है." I had no idea that something like this had gone viral on Facebook, had gone viral through WhatsApp platforms, and that was the reason why there was various Facebook pages were sharing it and talking about teaching me a lesson, and that led to Twitter, and where even my daughter came under attack. So this was a very deliberate, strategic, targeted trolling attempted not just at the Congress party, not just about a community, but also with regards to the press conference that I had done on Saturday from the party headquarters. So this is how they have been going about it: refusal to hold themselves accountable, refusal of the government to take a stance, refusal of them to break their silence, continues to empower and enable such trolls and this mechanism to continue spreading its tentacles and make everyone its victims, and especially those who do not believe in the ideology that they propagate. That is what is dangerous, not just for the nation as a whole, but also targeting a particular community, which can create serious trouble. And we are seeing that with growing lynch mob lynching cases across the country in various states.
Karnika, how is a lot of this, if not all of it, organized? And how is it politically motivated? How does this emanate from supporters of the BJP very often? What sort of support is there between the party, its arms and these trolls?
Well, on the internet, we find trolling as a very serious problem today, and I've seen that not only cases where there are few instances where somebody wants to play a mischief and post certain information which is fake. It plays certainly havoc in the society when gullible people fall into believing that this is really real. Most of it currently we have seen has been either defamatory or politically motivated, or in order to incite hatred amongst communities and different religions. It's unfortunate how the internet is, rather than being used, misused and abused by a lot of people, and in certain cases we've also seen organized attacks and syndicated motivated campaigns to do the same.
Okay.
I won't comment on any particular party how things are going at the moment, but yes, if investigated, the domain names, as in this case also there's a domain name which was involved. If we contact the registrar of the domain name, you will get certain information.
Right. Let me
the problem with this system is that the registrars do not verify the information or the accuracy of the subscriber of the domain.
Okay, Vineet,
and that's one of the major lacunas.
Okay. I just want to go across to Vineet Goenka. As the ex-co-convener of the BJP IT cell, how do you react to this? Because all of these individuals, more often than not, subscribe to the BJP. They subscribe to BJP leaders. They're followed by several BJP leaders as well. Do you believe the BJP has been strong enough in targeting these websites? Why is that website still allowed to exist?
Number one, I think we'll have to replace the entire police mechanism with you and people who have given this information, because before the police has done an investigation, you have come to conclusion that it has been done by BJP. So I have one thing to say, probably people who failed miserably in the school of morality now have become appointed themselves as vice chancellors of universities of morality. We'll have to go to the police. I don't know who does it. We all have to condemn this. Whoever has done this has to be condemned and should be booked, irrespective of the party he comes from, irrespective of this. And today's Supreme Court observation also is that victim is victim irrespective of his caste, religion or party or whatever faith he has. So we all should stand with the victim irrespective of whoever he is, and we should condemn it. Now, I don't know why do we have to jump saying that this has been done by X party. Let me take two examples. The nuns been raped in Kolkata, everybody jumped, it is done by BJP or the right wingers, and finally what came out of the investigation? They were Muslims from Bangladesh. Number two, Bhime Koregaon, everybody jumped, it's been done by X person, that person, and every channel bombarded. And who came in? The Naxalites or Runu Wilson. So my request to you will be, please do not jump to conclusion, let the police do an investigation. Now in this particular case, who owns this particular handle, who owns this particular website? A police complaint can be filed immediately, it can be investigated. Police
I think that point is entirely valid.
Yeah,
but
so
the
we are
point
jumping
is,
that
why doesn't,
now in the case of Nun rape or in the case of Bhima Koregaon also, none of the channels of
why isn't there much of why isn't there a stronger effort at completely condemning a website like this?
I am condemning here.
A website like this. Why not at the highest levels of the government, where these people are going about saying all of this? Do we hear enough of that from the government is the point?
See, I am on
Do
your
we
channel.
see leaders from the BJP unfollow themselves from hate spewing people who are trolls?
Let me answer to you. One, the Prime Minister also quoted this when he was in Sabarmati Ashram, that violence cannot be tolerated in any section of the society and it is not acceptable. A. Honorable Amit Shah ji, when he addresses the party Karyakarta, he said, you should be aware of fake news, do not subscribe to it, do not forward that, and please make sure whatever you forward or you read should be correct. Everybody in the party is very much conscious, and I'll tell you with highest regard to everybody in this thing, my party does not believe in any kind of caste, creed or religious this thing. I don't know why people jump to conclusion. Simple. Let's see the case of Bhima Koregaon or the nuns been raped in Kolkata. Everybody said it has been done by right wingers. Finally, what happened? Somebody who is not connected. And Naxalites were doing that.
Okay.
So my request to you is that
don't jump the gun.
Don't jump.
All right.
To you be a responsible channel, because you are a very respectful channel. So when you speak something,
okay,
it becomes in. And third, in place of talking about this kind of things, we can talk about what are the solutions.
Let's move. So let's talk about solutions. No, 1 second.
I beg you 10 seconds. I beg you 10 seconds.
This is not a. This is not.
Can we give solution?
You will get an opportunity to discuss solutions, because I think that's really important. But Priyanka, you had a point to make. Go ahead. The point being made over here, let's not jump the gun. It's unfair and perhaps even illegal to suggest that this is all coming from direct support from the BJP.
No, I wouldn't say it's illegal to suggest, but I would say it's a fair guess for anybody who can think correctly and can evaluate how misinformation is being spread, to understand most of the times, whether it was the inciting the West Bengal violence, whether it was the Mohammad Akhlaq case, whether it was the entire UP riots where Sangeet Som etc. were using WhatsApp as a medium to spread misinformation, whether it was wrapping Mohammad Akhlaq, the accused of Mohammad Akhlaq's lynching in a tricolour, was something coming from them. So there are many instances which we can quote, and he is quoting some 2 instances. However, what is important is for someone who is in authority, who has the power, who is wielding that authority, to speak up and to hold such people accountable, to hold such news agencies accountable. I remember the former Information Broadcasting Minister, Smriti Irani, spoke about some website which she was pushing through her handle and speaking about fake news, which was being endorsed by Blue Craft, which is another BJP supporting website. So this is what needs to be called out, and this is what the government of the day needs to hold itself accountable.
I'll give you a chance, Vineet, to answer that. But Pratik had a point to make. Pratik, go ahead. Yes.
The point that I want to make is that this India platform, yes, it cannot be connected to BJP because there is no evidence of it. It could probably be a BJP sympathizer, and I believe that it's a BJP sympathizer, but not probably a Karyakarta or something. So it would be unfair to say it is a BJP Karyakarta. But that is not the point. The point is that, for example, Postcard News, the guy who runs, Mahesh Vikram Hegde, he puts out fake news every single day. Prime Minister is still following him. He puts out the worst kind of fake news. The guy has been to jail for inciting riots, and that guy is still followed by the Prime Minister. Prashant Patel, his Twitter handle is IP Patel, he puts out the most wild fake news, and he was in the social media meet that Amit Shah had in Delhi, where he said, don't put out fake news. So these are the people who are still being promoted by the party, and that is the problem. That is the problem. This India platform guy may not be officially part of BJP. It is possible that there is an individual who is doing this, and there are many such websites who have a right-wing ideology and are into this business. But the point is that where is action? When Postcard News is being tweeted by multiple ministries, not just ministers.
Right.
Ministries have tweeted articles out of Postcard News. Now, when you have such support for a fake news ecosystem, then everybody will be emboldened. You know, it need not be directly from BJP, but you are creating an atmosphere.
Now,
where you
we've been talking about online as well. Today, there was a very strong statement by the government where they've actually warned WhatsApp, and they've said that tools need to be developed by WhatsApp to ensure that this kind of hate cannot be spread. My question to you is, in a country like ours, which is vulnerable at so many levels, just look at the dangers of WhatsApp in a state like Jammu and Kashmir, where terror messages are spread. In other parts of our country, different types of terror messages are spread. What exactly can the government do to try and control this beyond these threats, or is it too late?
So I was proposing 4 steps, which are my personal views and which I have,
Yes.
I will be writing to the government also probably. I think there are 4 things. Each WhatsApp comes through a mobile number. WhatsApp cannot be there without a mobile number, and we can force Aadhaar. They say we should discuss, and that Aadhaar should be linked with mobile number, so that when a WhatsApp is used, we can actually identify who that person was when it is required. Number 2, there is a word called as data sovereignty, data localization, whereby we ask all the service providers to bring their servers in country, so that it is within the President of India, and law enforcement agencies can have access to it whenever it is required.
But we had this problem when the BlackBerry issue
Yeah,
happened.
I am
their
coming.
servers were out of the country.
Let me just say.
So
I heard
realistically-
everybody. Let me just
No,
say.
carry on,
Yeah,
please.
Take on another
So,
channel,
please.
yes.
Sir,
No, but carry on with your point.
I'll have to-
Oh,
he has
Pra-
a- Sir, can you
Sir,
please
you're
just wait?
making misleading claims.
He
When
has to
I'm
wait.
sending
I
you a
never
WhatsApp,
spoke.
Pratik, half a
This is
second.
not a- this
Pratik,
is not a-
Pratik, I'll come to you next.
Unless the user is offline.
One sec, go ahead. Yeah, just finish your
Pratik
points
ji,
quickly.
Let's be little civilized.
Yeah,
I heard
come
you,
on.
Pratik
Yeah,
ji. I
carry
know
on with your points.
Anxiety.
Finish your points.
So
Yes.
number 3 is we will have to put in something like, Atomic Energy Commission or Election Commission, a commission for data commissions, which is nothing to do with the government of the day. So what happens is data commission can be an independent body which can monitor the data which has been flowing. These are the 3 steps. Number 4, we will have to debate whether we have to make stringent laws. Now what happens is there is a very thin line between privacy and trolling, because what happens is when somebody tries to enforce some law, then there is a section of society which starts jumping, saying that you are trying to break our privacy and this thing. How do you read a message which is being sent from
but
X
there
person
is-
to Y?
there is-
So
right.
what will have to, right? Number 3, we will have to
And
put
censorship.
some kind of control over these loose elements called as Pratik ji and their searching, because they do an investigation without the political or the police support, without the tools which
No,
they
but
have.
he uses
and they
common
create
sense.
aberrant.
The tools
And then-
are online
yeah, okay,
tools.
but the common
So
sense.
how is he a
and
loose
then-
element?
Yeah, I'll tell you loose element
He
because
is a journalist. He is
he
who's
is-
doing
he's
research
motivated.
as a journalist.
He's motivated.
As
He's
a
talking
journalist,
my party.
as a journalist,
You
if I
have
want
a
to
right because-
investigate something, do I go to the police?
He's motivated because he's
How is he
before
motivated?
he can ever
But it's very
investigate,
convenient to
he's
call
talking
anybody
about
motivated.
BJP being responsible. See, he's motivated.
He
How
is
come
not.
he's
He
been-
said the opposite. He said he does not have proof to
He-
suggest that this, but he's spoken about other websites
So motivated
which
people
are
cannot be
supported
taken
and
very
endorsed.
seriously. I have
Which
personally
was,
feel it is so
you know,
motivating.
somebody
Why
was
can't he
accusing
investigate?
Mr.
He is investigating.
Why don't he
Is,
investigate?
has anything that he has
What
said here
happened
wrong?
after Ghulam Nabi
He put out
Azad
that news.
talked
Has
about
Has
targeting
anything that he,
civilians. What
has,
was the
has
impact of it?
anything
Can you
he
please
said over here?
investigate what happened with Soch said?
All right, one
that
sec.
we
Let him
support from
answer.
India.
Let him
Can
answer.
you please
Pratik,
investigate this kind of serious
Pratik,
things?
you are not investigating. Pratik, go ahead and answer that. He says you're not
Please grow up.
answering. You're
My
not
request is grow
investigating.
up.
No, no, come on. Let's not get personal over here. Let's keep it civilized. Pratik, lots of things have been said about you. Go ahead and respond.
Just today, we put out a story where where a fake image was, I mean, a misleading image was being used to target Mr. Subramaniam Swamy. There was just 2 days back, I spoke to Mr. Sambit Patra myself, and there was a false rape allegation on a Congress page, on a Congress fan page, that was put against Mr. Sambit Patra. We put out that story. The video that constantly goes on where it is claimed that Mr. Modi is not educated, a 10-second, a short video which is clipped. We have put out that story. We have put out multiple stories where we have busted, fake news against BJP. So kindly go to the website, please do your research, and for heaven's sake, don't say that WhatsApp has a server.
All right. Well, one way or the other, it's a horrific situation. And as far as the regulation of WhatsApp is concerned, whether it's legal or not, whether that is a solution in a democracy like ours, one way or the other, it is an absolute nightmare. I'd like to thank all of our guests very much for joining us today. But I think we can close this program by really trying to reflect on what this was supposed to be about. Outrage, not on Twitter, social media and messages, but on the rape of an 8-year-old child. It's time for us to take this short break.